Have you ever pondered upon the purpose of your existence? An intriguing question, isn't it? A question that has sparked countless philosophical debates, inspiring deep introspection and exploration of the human condition. Today, let's delve into this from a spiritual perspective, taking guidance from an age-old wisdom found in Ecclesiastes, a book from the Bible. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says, "The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." This verse encapsulates the essence of life's purpose as perceived in a spiritual context. But what does it truly mean? Is it about living in constant fear, or does it signify something deeper? Fear God, it says. But this fear is not about being terrified or living in constant apprehension. It's about reverence, a profound respect for the divine, an acknowledgement of the power and wisdom that's far beyond our human comprehension. It's about recognizing and honoring the divine presence that permeates everything around us and within us. Then comes the second part: keep his commandments. This is about living a life of righteousness, a life guided by ethical and moral values. It's about striving to do what's right, even when no one's watching. It's about being honest, kind, compassionate, forgiving. It's about valuing others' well-being as much as our own. In essence, it's about living a life of love, for love is the greatest commandment. So, the purpose of life, according to Ecclesiastes, is about revering the divine and living a life of love and righteousness. It's about understanding that we are all interconnected, part of the grand cosmic play, and our actions, words, and thoughts have a ripple effect on the world around us. Yet it's easier said than done, isn't it? How do we navigate the complexities of life while staying true to this purpose? How do we cultivate this reverence and live out these commandments in our day-to-day life? How do we balance our human desires with our spiritual aspirations? But how can we understand and fulfill this purpose? That's the question we'll explore as we move forward. So, stay tuned. The journey is just beginning. Faith, an often misunderstood concept, plays a significant role in our lives. Diving into the depths of faith, we find it's not just a belief system or a set of religious rituals. It's much more than that. Faith is a powerful driving force that shapes our perception of the world and our place in it. It's the lens through which we view life and its complexities. Faith is confidence, according to the scripture passage from Hebrews. It's the assurance in what we hope for and the certainty in what we do not see. What an empowering perspective. With faith, we're not just wishful thinkers or daydreamers. We're confident individuals who believe in the potential of unseen realities. So how does faith tie into understanding and fulfilling the purpose of life? Well, think about it this way. Life is an intricate puzzle. Each of us is a piece of that grand puzzle with a unique shape and design. It's faith that helps us realize that we're part of something bigger, something divine. It gives us the assurance that our lives have meaning, even when we can't see the bigger picture. Faith also encourages us to rise above the confines of our physical realities. It beckons us to reach out and grasp the unseen, the divine, the eternal. It empowers us to live beyond the ordinary, to strive for the extraordinary. Faith motivates us to transcend our limitations, to overcome our challenges, and to persevere in the face of adversity. In this way, faith becomes our compass, guiding us on our journey through life. It illuminates our path, helping us navigate through the darkness of uncertainty. It gives us the courage to step out into the unknown, to venture beyond the familiar, and to explore new horizons. Faith is not just about believing in something, it's about living in a certain way, guided by the convictions of our hearts. It's about aligning our lives with our beliefs, our actions with our values. It's about embracing the truth of our existence and living it out with passion and purpose. So, you see, faith is not just a concept, it's a way of life. It's a journey of discovery, of growth, of transformation. And it's this journey that leads us towards the life God has called us to. Our faith serves as a guide, leading us towards the life God has called us to. Embracing the call of God is a journey, not a destination. Yes, it's a journey that starts with a single step, but it doesn't end there. It's a journey that continues day after day, step after step, decision after decision. Imagine you're walking along a path. You can't see where the path leads, but you keep walking, trusting that each step you take is leading you somewhere meaningful. This is what it's like to embrace God's call. It's about trusting in God's direction, even when the path isn't clear. You see, the scripture passage from Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." This passage isn't just a nice quote. It's a blueprint for embracing God's call. It tells us three important things. First, trust in the Lord with all your heart. This means giving God your complete trust, not just a part of it. It means trusting God even when things don't make sense, even when you're afraid, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Second, lean not on your own understanding. It's easy to rely on our own understanding, our own logic, our own knowledge. But embracing God's call means acknowledging that God's wisdom is greater than ours. It means being willing to let go of our own understanding and lean on His. Finally, in all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This is a promise. It's a promise that if we submit to God in all our ways, if we surrender our plans, our desires, our understanding to Him, He will guide us. He will make our paths straight. He will lead us on the journey He has planned for us. So embracing the call of God isn't about reaching a destination, it's about embarking on a journey. It's a journey of trust, surrender, and submission. It's a journey that transforms us from the inside out, and it's a journey that leads us to a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Embarking on this journey requires courage and determination. But remember, you're not walking this path alone. God is with you every step of the way. Living the life God has called you to is an adventurous and fulfilling journey. Yes, it's a journey, not a destination. Every day, every moment is an opportunity to live out your calling, to embody the purpose that has been breathed into you. Living the called life is a unique experience, far from the ordinary. It's like walking on a path less traveled, a path that is not always clear, not always easy. But it's on this path, this narrow road, that you find the most profound experiences, the most meaningful connections, and the deepest sense of purpose. It's like the scripture passage from Matthew, "But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." Yes, few find it because it requires courage, it demands faith. It's not about following the crowd or doing what's easy, it's about listening to that still, small voice within, following its guidance, even when it leads you to unfamiliar territories. The called life is a life of conviction, a life of purpose, a life of service. It's about using your unique gifts, your unique talents, not for your own gain, but for the benefit of others, for the greater good. It's about making a difference, leaving a positive impact, illuminating the world with your light. The called life is not a life of comfort, but a life of growth. It's not a life of complacency, but a life of passion. It's not a life of self-centeredness, but a life of selflessness. It's not a life of taking, but a life of giving. Living the called life is like being a beacon of light in a dark world. You become a source of hope, a source of inspiration, a source of love. You become a living testament of God's grace, of God's love, of God's power. The journey can be challenging, but the rewards are immense. Yes, the path may be narrow, the road may be rough, but the joy of living your purpose, the joy of making a difference, the joy of being in alignment with your divine calling, makes it all worth it. Indeed, the called life is not just a life worth living, it's a life worth celebrating. Taking the first step towards living the life God has called you to can seem daunting. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, peering into the unknown. But don't let fear paralyze you. Instead, let it motivate you. It's a sign that you're about to embark on a journey that will transform you. One of the most empowering scriptures that we can draw strength from is Joshua 1:9. It says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." These words are not just a promise, they are a divine command. God is urging us to be brave, to step into the unknown with faith and courage. So, how do we take this first step? First, we need to understand that this step is not a physical one, but a spiritual and mental one. It's about shifting our mindset, about choosing to trust God over our fears. This first step is about making a decision, a commitment to live the life God has called us to. Start small. It could be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day for prayer or reading scripture. Or it could be a more significant step like forgiving someone who has wronged you or saying no to a habit that's been pulling you away from God. Remember, you're not alone in this. God is with you, guiding your steps. As you take this first step, you might stumble. You might face obstacles, but don't be discouraged. These are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth. They're chances for you to lean on God, to experience His strength in your weakness. And as you keep taking steps, one day at a time, you'll find yourself walking in the path God has laid out for you. You'll find yourself living the life God has called you to, a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Don't let fear hold you back. Take that first step today.